Why do Hindu nationalists hate Valentine's Day so much? By the way, guys, happy Valentine's Day. I hope you had a lovely moment with your significant other, should you have one. And if not, I don't know, maybe enjoy some cheap chocolates. Um, so this is kind of one of my favorite times of year because I just find the absurdity of Hindu nationalism to be so entertaining. And I thought this would balance out our show a little bit because I did come out supporting the UCC, you know, and that can be very controversial. People are like, that's part of a Hindu nationalist agenda. But let us not forget how psycho some of these people are. Um, okay. So in India, the celebration of Valentine's Day has sparked controversy among Hindu nationalists who argue that the holiday is a Western imposition incompatible with traditional Indian values. Leading a charge against the February 14th festivities is the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and the Bajrang Dal, influential Hindutva or Hindu nationalist organizations, which have called on Indians to reject Valentine's Day in favor of honoring the member of Indian security personnel who were killed on the 14th of February in 2019 in an attack in Pulwama, which was a devastating suicide bombing that targeted a convoy of Indian soldiers in Jammu and Kashmir, resulting in the loss of 40 personnel. So they're saying instead of Valentine's Day, why don't we memorialize the victims of this attack? Uh, Pagudakula Balaswamy, a campaign leader for VHP in Hyderabad, emphasized the movement's stance by declaring, quote, corporate forces are promoting foreign culture in the name of love. Why celebrate Valentine's Day? We can look at the love of Sita-Ram and Satyabama-Sri Krishna. They are our culture. This sentiment reflects a broader critique among Hindu nationalists who view the holiday as antithetical to Indian cultural heritage and advocate for its replacement with celebrations more aligned with Hindu deities and values, such as promoting Kamadeva Day, who is a local god of love and desire who wields a flower-arrowed bow as an alternative. So, here's a couple things I find just like very well. Part of this is actually not amusing, but I like to highlight this every year because it's freaking insane. So the Bajrang Dal is I think they actually were considered a terrorist group in India at one point. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they're like a paramilitary group. They're a gang of street thugs across the country who go around and do moral policing vigilantism on random people and have been known to attack random men and women that they see together on Valentine's Day. Sometimes they're not even a couple, but they assume to be couples, attack random couples in the street. Sometimes they chop off their hair as a form of public humiliation, assault them, cover their faces in black soot, like blacken their faces as a form of humiliation. They've been known to drag people out of like restaurants, drag them into the street, force them to get married on that day. Just random men and male and female couples they just see together on Valentine's Day. So basically, a form of just like street terrorism to just force people to. So they're just using violence straight up in violent moral policing vigilantism to just try to get people to not celebrate Valentine's Day. Because again, they see it as like Western imposition of this is not our culture, this is not our values, blah, 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 blah. On the other side, there are like leftists who don't like Valentine's Day in India because they see it as a form of neocolonialism, they see it as a form of consumerism, and they see it as a form of classism because apparently Valentine's Day didn't become a big deal in India until the 1990s, where there was more economic liberalization, which led to the growth of an Indian middle class, which had access to foreign media, which brought the ideas of Valentine's Day into the culture. And then it became like kind of a thing that they wanted to celebrate because they would see this in media. And then they also and more access at the time to individualized relationships, love marriages, whatever. And then it became something that they wanted to celebrate. And then they see this as a form of like bourgeois, like classism, blah, blah, blah. My stance is if people want to celebrate this, let them celebrate this. Okay, obviously. You can have your whiny fucking opinion no matter what. Stop beating people up in the street. How about that? It's so common that I have Indian friends that literally, female friends that literally tell me that on the 14th of February, they choose to not leave the house. I personally know people that say that as a woman that they do not leave the house on the 14th because they're afraid of having issues with these freaking street thugs. It's so common that you can easily access and look up articles all about how to avoid Bajrang Dal on February 14th.
Wow.
You can even ask ChatGPT, how do I avoid Bajrang Dal on February 14th? And it'll provide you with a wealth of information. That's how much of a consistent issue this is.
Wow.
And
so what happens if you leave the house? Like if you're like even if you're not celebrating Valentine's Day, if you leave the house as a girl on Valentine's Day, what could happen to you?
they're the people that I know, they're just afraid of being harassed.
Mhm.
They're like, I'm more likely to be like harassed on this day, and I don't want to experience that. So it's easier for me to just remove myself.
So the Hindu nationalists they're saying that on this day, maybe instead of like celebrating Valentine's Day, maybe we could like celebrate some of their gods love with each other. Is that what they said?
Yeah, so last year we covered a story where
No, I just want to hear. I just want to respond. I just want to hear a quick yes or no. Is that what some of they're suggesting?
some of them, yes, and I actually think that could be a cool idea.
Wouldn't that just be celebrating Valentine's Day for the Hindu gods? Like, wouldn't that like just saying kind of happy Valentine's Day to your Hindu gods? If you do that, like because you're doing it on Valentine's Day.
Why not?
Okay.
For example, wait, let me pull it up. Actually,
I have another question. No. Hey, let me also make some points. Would do you think these people would be upset if Westerners were celebrating Hindu traditions and culture? I mean, maybe they
unless
wouldn't.
they were some people that have a stick up their ass about cultural appropriation, no. Most of these Hindutva people like love when like there are like white girls that are what's the name of them? Hare Krishnas, like that kind of thing.
We should try it. Maybe we should come on our stream wearing like we should try every tradition and see how people react. Like on the stream. Like maybe one day I could come up with the turban and the mullah costume and you could wear the hijab and see what the reaction would be. And then
I'd be
another
so
day we could come
uncomfortable
up
with
with
that.
I could do a Hindu like saffron color, a Hindu outfit, and you could do like a sari, and then we will see what the reaction would be to that. And then another day I could come out as a samurai and see what the reaction would be to that. I don't know. What do you think?
Samurai, that's kind of random.
No, because Japanese people don't give like they don't get upset when you use their costumes. Like they're famous for not getting like celebrating that. Like if you use like Hindu gods and stuff in Hollywood, setting and stuff, they would get pissed off. Like, I dare you, that's our culture, right? But if you do that with Japanese like traditions and culture, they're like, oh yeah, great, let's enjoy our culture. Like, have at it. Like, thank you.
Oh, and my favorite thing is Japan is famous for literally not giving an F about like what someone's cultural sensitivity are, mean it in anime. They're like, oh no,
Right.
your god's in anime. And in fact, they make it really cool. They make it so
Yeah.
exciting and like
I think
interesting.
it's a sign of you tell me if I'm wrong. I think it's inferiority complex. I think these people feel inferior to the rest of the world, and that's how they are demonstrating it. Do you think that's what I'm right?
We'll explain what you mean more.
I think they think they constantly try to show how valuable, how great their culture is, because they don't feel that, and they want to say they feel inferior, so they try to portray superiority and value of their culture, because they feel like they're left behind and they're inferior to other people, so they constantly have to fight for it and demonstrate it. But if you actually feel comfortable with your culture and your value, then you don't care. Like, for example, Japanese, they don't care because they know that their culture is great. They know that the world wants it, so they don't care when people play around with it and use it, because they are confident when when it comes to the superiority of their culture. The same thing with Korea, for example, or same thing with the United States. It's only when you feel inferior that you keep getting angry over everything like this, and you want to keep displaying like, oh, we're good, we're good, we're good. Like, please understand how superior we are to you, because you don't actually feel that way. You feel inferior, so you're constantly trying to prove to other people how superior you are.
Well, maybe not
Does that make
full-blown
sense?
inferior, but an insecurity. I would say an insecurity.
The
And
same thing.
well, part of what, and to be fair, what a lot of that is reasonable in reaction to is the formation of a post-colonial identity
Oh wait,
and the
D has a
experience of being a
solution.
colonized force.
Oh, D is a genius. That's what you should be doing. You want to read? You should say B. You want to read these
Wait, I don't
comments?
get
I
this.
highlighted
She's
them.
saying they could just say they created Valentine's Day 2,000 years ago. Oh,
Yeah, just say it was in the Vedas. Just say that. Just say that the Westerners stole it from you. Why don't you just do that? Just say that the Western powers stole it for you. It was in the Vedas. That is genius. Fantastic. I love it.
no, one thing that's
Oh my god.
no, but actually, it would be very easy to enjoy this because there's a whole story about how like Saint Valentine was a Christian missionary and all this stuff, and he was helping couples like get married, even though the Romans at the time wouldn't allow it, and then they would persecute Christians, blah 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 blah. But there's a lot of people say that there's evidence to suggest that this date was chosen on the 14th as a way to Christianize an already pre-existing Roman pagan tradition. So there's that.
Oh yeah.
Second of all, I have something to say. If you have such an issue with people celebrating Valentine's Day, like Bajrang Dal is freaking horrible at marketing. Horrible at marketing. If they want people to celebrate something more Indian instead of this, like last year, I don't know if you remember this news, Armin, there was a push for Cow Hug Day. Instead of Valentine's Day, it became Cow Hug Day, and you're supposed to go hug a cow. And then there were these videos coming out of like VHP dudes trying to go hug a cow and getting like kicked by a cow.
Do cows like being hugged?
I don't know.
Like
I try not to mess with the cows because if you get one of those hooves in your shin, that's gonna hurt real bad. But so I don't know if anyone else here remembers Cow Hug Day. But here's the thing. Here's an example. So I read an article where someone was criticizing both the right wing push against this and the left wing push against this. And they were saying, instead of kind of these whiny freaking contentions, why don't we just celebrate as Kamadeva Day? And so I used ChatGPT to make a Kamadeva Valentine. And it fits so well. I'm like, see, this is good marketing. This is good marketing. Still have it be February 14th.
You made this?
Yeah. People like to have it be February 14th. But instead of just complaining or beating people up in the street or forcing people to get married and yada, 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 why don't you just still have it on the same day because that's when people are doing it instead of trying to make it be a different thing. But just integrate your own culture into it. Yeah, it's Kenny is saying that's beautiful. I love it. Actually, I sent this Valentine to Gasian American.
You're welcome, India. We keep making you here at Atheist Republic. We keep upgrading your gods, okay? Like we are a bunch of foreigners that are improving Indian culture and an Atheist Republic. Come to Atheist Republic to get your gods upgraded.
Yeah, and so like people. Pranav, he's right. He's saying Kama Sutra came from the name Kamadeva.
Oh, there we go.
So he's the god of like love and desire. He has a green parrot, and his bow is really
The
cool.
green
It's made out
parrot.
of sugar cane, and like so he even has a bow and arrow like Cupid. He even has a bow and arrow like
Wait,
Cupid, except
does
it's
this
made out of
parrot
sugar
also have
cane and like
boner?
5 different flowers. It's lots of flowers. People love to give flowers on Valentine's Day. It has a lot of similarities to Cupid, which is already associated with Valentine's Day. I think this is like, if you push this, this could be marketed and sold well. I would be super into this. So I spent the afternoon amusing myself with making Kamadeva Valentines.
Okay, I have a question. Did you
Go ahead.
specifically ask it to give arrows to the parrot, or did the AI just decided to do that?
The AI decided to do that.
Okay. Is there anything within the story that the parrot also has arrows, or did AI just like, hey, let's just go
No,
with it?
usually
I like how-
he's supposed to ride the parrot. He sits on the parrot and rides the parrot. It's his chariot.
You know, guys, I love AI. It's just so creative. Like, it's just like, I think people think AI can't be creative, but who would have thought to give some arrows to the parrot as well? Nobody would have thought about that. AI is very creative. Like, that's pretty cool.
It's so
I
funny.
love it.
Kenny, this is so funny. He's saying he also has a bow and arrows. Now it does sound like we stole it from Indians. So everyone, if you didn't enjoy Valentine's Day, maybe celebrate it as Kamadeva Day next year and you might enjoy it more. So happy Kamadeva Day to everyone in the Atheist Republic community. I think we could easily push this every year.
All right, so there's a Persian guy in the live chat who's asking us if we have after sale service support for our gods for upgrading gods. Yeah, you can come back to us anytime. You could come back to us. But this is beautiful. This is great. Guys, you could, like, seriously, India, you could hire us. You could hire Susanna if you need to, for some cultural, advice. What is? Do you have a name for your service that you offer? Any country, can other countries come to you as well when it comes to
Sure.
when they want to? Yeah. Well,
I mean, I think this is such a great idea, though.
Yeah, it is. It is. India, like, learn from Susanna. India. Okay, yeah. Do this. Okay, we have super chats. We should get to them.
Yes. So let me remove this quickly. Oops, and bring this back. Okay. See, Srijan, you had beef with me. You've been beefing with me. Apparently, it's you've been having a one-sided beef within yourself with me. But this is something we could agree on. He's saying Bajrang Dal is the scum of the earth. They should mind their own business and be put into jail if they are found to be involved in violence. Sir, I have my full agreement with you. Asian American is saying, my partner and I fuse Black History Month, Lunar New Year, and Valentine's Day, and we celebrate a second Chinese New Year, Chinese Valentine's on the 7th lunar month. That's very fascinating. By the way, Asian American's partner is freaking fine. They're a cute couple together. I'm going to be honest. I'm like, damn, Asian, you did a good job. GJ gave a super chat saying, I studied psychology at Leiden University, like Ayan Hirsi Ali, in the 90s. On the 3rd of October, some 1 lakh of Leeds populace beats on some of the 25,000 then university students each year. I'm sorry, I don't understand what that means. Asian American, yeah, but thank you for the super chat. Asian American gave another super chat saying, depends on who you dress as. I've met several non-Asian people cosplaying as Danmei Taoist cultivators, but I've also seen racists do yellowface. Okay, if it's done with the intention to denigrate people, that's obviously lame and wrong and offensive. In my experience, though, it is mostly people in Western countries that take offense to people wearing a costume from a different country. In my experience, usually people from those countries love to see people that are not like them take an interest in their culture and love their culture and celebrate it. So, kind of seems like a little bit of a diaspora sensitivity, to be honest. Um, Asian American also gave a super chat saying that image is inaccurate. His bow is sugarcane, the arrows are tulsi flowers, and the string is bees. I know, but you can only ask so much of ChatGPT, okay?
Yeah. Dolly is the
um,
uses.
yeah. So GJ also gave a super chat saying, I'm still for atheist art prints, merch printed in Netherlands, like some of Galileo, Spinoza, and Descartes. I think therefore I am all had heresy printed in the Netherlands. And that's something I appreciate about the Netherlands is that they have a history of being very strong about their blasphemy. And I think that's a very foundational Dutch value, and I appreciate it. And it's kind of sad the way in which it's been damaged in the past 20 years. So yeah, that was our show for today. Armin, is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No. Sorry about my voice. Wait, no, I'm not sorry.
I hope you feel
But
better.
make sure you like the stream. I can't yell today. I was gonna yell. Today, you guys are okay. Today, you guys are lucky because I can't yell at you for not liking the stream. So I'm instead of yelling at you, I'm just gonna shame you. I'm just gonna because I can't yell, I'm just gonna like that's what I'm gonna do. For anybody who did not like this, I should get a bell. I should get a shame bell. Okay, shame. Okay, I will buy a shame bell at some point. And when people are not liking anybody, how many people are watching right now? Okay, so it's how many people like? Oh, okay, more people have liked than we have more than 200 likes. So good. I'm happy to.
Hey,
but again,
lovely.
still
Thank you,
shame
guys.
on you. Still shame on you if you have not liked the stream. Please, guys, it doesn't cost you anything and it really helps our channel. So do that. And also, after the stream is over, leave a comment under the show. That also helps out a lot. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell notification. And make sure you go and tell people to come and subscribe to our channel. That really helps us out. Oh.
We got a few more super chats, so let's go through those. Wait 1 second.
I'm gonna buy a bell. I'm gonna buy a shame bell.
Shame. Uzair Jabril gave a super chat saying, interested in your guys' take on KR Lunar New Year. What is KR Lunar New Year? Is it Korean? Do you think?
I don't like any lunar calendars. They move. Okay? Go solar. Solar or Gregorian? What is yours called?
Gregorian. The Gregorian calendar is not very good though.
Okay, go solar. Like the Persian New Year. You know? The Persian New Year is like everything, all the months stay within this specific seasons. Why would you use the moon when you have the sun and keep every month within a certain season? Lunar calendars make no sense to me. Why would you do that? Well, like your month is like hot, like, and 10 years from now you're in the middle of the summer, you have a month, and then now 10 years from now you have the same month in the middle of winter. Why? Okay, I'm buying a bell online to shame you. Wait, guys.
Is the Persian calendar is then solar New Year, right? Solar,
yes.
Year, yeah, okay. Because you have a very convincing argument.
And that's
why it makes more sense, and I actually agree.
That's why that's why the Persian New Year, the Persian calendar is superior to the Islamic calendar, because the Islamic calendar is lunar. Maybe I am biased against lunar calendars because the Islamic calendar is lunar. Yeah, I think that's where it comes from. Yeah.
Here, we're very conscious of our own biases. And GJ gave another super chat saying, having 25,000 university students more now versus just 10,000 Leiden residents, I guess, creates tension. And October 3rd is an annual Leiden festivity. Oh, I guess you mean like the conflicts of within a college town? I guess, essentially.
Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube, blasphemous art ever? We do! And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.